G'day, welcome to JTACKLE TV. Today we're going to talk a little bit about micro jigs and the common ways to rig them. As you're probably aware out there, micro jigging is pretty much the latest craze, and there's a lot of different ways to rig these things. So we're going to go through most of the standard ways that we would rig our own jigs, and hopefully you can get out there and catch a few more fish. Micro jigs probably, for us, are classed between around 10 grams and 60 grams. So we'll just run through these individually. We look at a jig like this. It's a new Storm Kawika jig, 60 grams. It's a slow fall jig and really commonly rigged with 2 sets of hooks, one on either end. A good choice for that would be these new Exesta hooks, a twin hook rig and ideally suited for this application. These hooks come with a solid ring fitted. All you need to supply is a split ring. So that's how this guy is going to look, with 2 hooks hanging off either end. Generally considered to be a flat fall jig, so rather than a jig that falls vertically, it's a jig that falls horizontally. And one of the tricks with these 2 rigs is as it falls, these 2 hooks are dangling up into the air as this thing drops, and it has a really unique characteristic. A lot of guys think it looks a bit like a crab with a set of claws hanging upwards or pointing upwards as it drops. And all you would do from there is either tie directly on to your toe point here and perhaps rig with another split ring and a solid ring if you felt like that. So that's your 60 gram Kawika jig rig with twin assists. Probably our most popular jig of all is an EMA gun. This is the 40 gram version, and we tend to rig these with 1 set of assist hooks. There's a lot of choices out there. My preference is for a twin assist rig on this unit as well. And this is a Shout light game assist, and it's pretty good because it has everything you need already in the packet. So it has a split ring attached to the solid ring, and all you need to do is attach it to the jig. So dead easy, this guy. Stick the twin hook assist on. Generally the best way to go is to split the hooks down either side of the jig, and you would just tie your leader on to the solid rig and away you go. The twin hook rig gives you fantastic hookup rate with bottom fish and other critters like trevallies, and it really does produce a better result than a single hook across the board. These hooks are good for around 20 pound tackle. If you're going to use heavier than that, then you have to choose a heavier duty hook. This little guy here is an EMA gun in a 20 gram. And we would oftentimes rig this with a single hook. One of the best of all to choose from is a hook like this, which is a Veribass wing flash. Now it has no solid ring attached out of the packet, so it just has a loop. You could loop this through the top of the jig and basically hitch it back on itself, but there's probably a better and easier way that we would use nearly all the time, and that is to choose a solid ring and actually loop the solid ring onto this assist cord. So that's a simple girth hitch over the solid ring. That's going to allow us to hitch with a split ring that hook directly to the top of our jig. So choose another split ring. And that little assist hook's attached directly to our jig. Normally when you're rigging this, you would tie your leader to the solid ring that you've attached the assist cord to, and that provides a direct link to your hook without any load transmitted through the split ring. This hook's called a wing flash, and actually it's got a nice little flashy tail on the end of it with a bit of crystal flash and a bit of fish skin, and that can really add extra attraction, especially with bottom fish. Not necessarily something you'd use for mackerel, but certainly all your bottom fish, snappers and squire, parrot and things like that. It's an awesome way to rig. Down here we have a little Exesta 12 gram. So this is getting towards the smallest end of the market. Lots and lots of options here as well, but hard to go past the Exesta's own twin hook rig for this little guy. And that's going to be Exesta S. So 2 small hooks attached to a little solid ring, and again choose a split ring and attach, and away you go. Again, your leader would be tied to the solid ring, and with this rig both your hooks would just hang down on one side of your jig. One of the best advantages of a 2-hook rig is that you can oftentimes have both hooks in the fish, and that'll give you a lot better holding power, and also distribute the load from your line and your rod across 2 hooks, which will ease the burden on the hook and stop you from straightening the hooks out quite as often. Okay, so that's 4 jigs all rigged up and ready to go. All we've got to do is find some fish and some water.